It's past my bedtime, and I have been struggling to fix my computer, which I dropped like a 2 foot, about this much from the bed, maybe more than 2 feet. Anyway, related to that, I may not be able to use the camera, but I'm still working on it. There are lots of progress made, and I want to talk about how we can make the best of what we got. Life is like that. Whether it's a huge organization or small, there's always some bottleneck because we want to live better, happier, and life, I call it, life is a process of problem solving. So when I was watching Michelle Obama's speech, I was so excited and I forgot my computer was on the bed right here. And I heard the bang noise. And I knew what happened, so I became quiet. All the scenarios of what to do. Before jumping in to get upset or anything, first thing is not to get upset. So what I'm sharing here is this tiny problem on my mini universe I'm facing, but I think it applies to any universe because eventually we'll hit the wall and life is to go through the wall. If not in the mind, you connect to the heart. If nothing works, you may check with GPT. I don't mean to promote GPT, but that's one option. And through that, I am solving the problem. And to be able to ask the right question is part of the problem solving. That I could manage it without going through all the checklist, but somehow find the solution. But the camera is the problem, but luck hit me, and that's the name of the game actually. If you're prepared, like in this case, I have this cheap computer. I bought a $300 salvaged one, addition to the new one I bought in the year 2014 or 15, Apple MacBook Air. So I have two of them. It's carrying everywhere. Two is kind of heavy, but it's helpful. And especially if you have two screens, you can process things much better. Like in this case, I had the computer. It's not functionable in terms of, well, it can function, but actually, I don't know. You want to have the display that you follow all the steps and you work on the computer to work on it, right? So if you have only one computer, you cannot do that easily. So having two computers is very beneficial, especially if it's one is 300 and the other is maybe $1,000 at the time. It's not too bad. Of course, I have to carry it to New Zealand and Japan and Hawaii and all the places, but this is the name of the game. How to utilize the best of the resources. Of course, you can buy things and you can add things and you can have a big hotel room and you have a secretary and all that stuff. But eventually you hit the wall. What I'm doing is my mini universe, I'm hitting the wall. And this small room, the bicycle here and this and this, but it's kind of like a game. It's a mini universe, and I wrote a book about waste elimination. If you think about the sustainability, and eventually, we hit the wall, and some may go to the Mars, but it may be down the road. Even if you go to Mars, it's like maybe living in a much smaller space. So each of us don't envy others, but given the situation to self-manage, that's the name of the game. And one of the Zen koan I think about every now and then in this kind of case is that a thief's son is growing up and he's been trained by the father who is a thief. And the thief father brought him, this son, to some rice warehouse, and he locked this son into the cabinet or some such thing, and he has to find a way out. And the father left to see how the son may get out of it without any trouble. So the son thought about, well, what to do, and he made a noise of mouse, and the people from the main house came and opened the door because of the sound, and he jumped and surprised people and ran and then threw a rock into the well, splashing the water sound, and people get distracted, and he saved his life or some such thing. There may be more stories in the koan, but it doesn't matter. The point is how to solve the problem. I thought, why thief? That doesn't sound right, but I think the notion is about life, and whether you are the thief or not is not so much an issue. Ethically, that may not sound right, but I have some answer to that question. Because I think about Kamala Harris and Trump, and I don't want Trump to have the wisdom too much, to come up with all the crazy idea to be the president. It doesn't make any sense. And Kamala is more like a bodhisattva, compassionate, inclusive, no barrier, and communication, and working together. That's the spirit. But Trump is the other way. But Trump can be very wise in a wrong way, but that's what the nature is, if you think about it. Or the trick that they come up with nature is, if something is growing well and doing something, and there's some opposite end of the picture can happen. I don't know if that's any good idea. Okay, there's a skunk making smell. That's not nice. Or the cactus with thorns. They protect. So whether one is good or bad, depends on how you see it from the human point of view. Maybe you don't want a skunk, but maybe skunk may be very beneficial, and the cactus may be beneficial. So you never know. So that the thief moral issue can be something we can think about, but that's part of the duality. If you are put in his situation, not as a thief, but just as some situation like me in this hotel room, to figure out how to live, in principle, it's the same thing, if you think that way. Anyway, going beyond the good and bad, but trying to thrive, there's actually Zen saying, the way of universe is beyond the regulation or human concept of regulation. Danyu Genze Kisoku. Yeah. Danyu, big movement, meaning the law of nature. Genze meaning it's everywhere, and it is beyond the Kisoku, the regulatory concept of what you think. So maybe you can think it this way. There's a constitution, it's evolving, okay? So that there's always something new to go beyond to address the issue. So Trump is coming up, and I don't like him. It's just crazy, right before the November 5th. Today is 26th or something like that. And I'm really concerned, and I was excited. Actually, I was watching Michelle Obama's speech, and I got so excited. That's when I kicked my computer off from the bed, and that caused this trouble. So everything is convoluted, but that's the nature of the situation. Living being, all the convolution of this and that. You cannot just say this and do that. End of the story. There's no end. So the thief leaves, and then he faces something else. The same thing. So how we bring out the wisdom, it's not written in the book. You have to come up given the situation. So I thought about, this going to math. Math is interesting, but it's kind of like I prefer to be on Earth. This small hotel room is much better than the confinement of the rocket even though you get Mars and you have to do something there. And this is beautiful, wonderful, setting that we have. So, Musk, he can go there. I'd rather die on this earth, beautiful earth, and be a dust in this, and then that's fine with me. But if I think about what was the point I was thinking about? Yeah, this is the astronauts and also the engineers to come up with certain satellite or whatever. There was Hubble, or was it? Yeah, the Hubble. They had the mistake of making the lens in the wrong dimension or size, but the people figure out how to fix it from the Earth, or some such thing. I don't remember the detail of it. And when there was a problem, Apollo mission to Moon, for them to come back, they figured out the solution so that they can come back instead of bounced off from the air and then out to the universe or something. What I'm saying is that when we are in a tight condition, nowhere to go, still we'll come back with the idea. And that's how the miracle of life is, in my view, from the molecules and atoms and all the dust of the universe put together in whatever sequence to get us to be alive. Before us is the protein or whatever the molecule configuration put together, create the amino acid. I don't know all the detail, but then all the things happen and the living beings found on Earth and then evolved, and we are here. We are just the result of the miracle, and us living is miracle itself. So the point of the corn of this thief is the same as any living being trying to live beyond the constraint of the mind, even the law. So Trump is breaking the law, and I don't like it. But he's one species, as if any species may prevail on Earth. So how to deal with it? That's a huge issue. Let's go back to this point, which is when I'm doing this work of fixing the computer, it's the same thing, waste elimination, how to make the most of what we got. I have two computers, old computers, how to fix it. Then I have ChatGPT to help me. And I ask the question, don't understand, another question, get the answer. They suggest this, there are 8 steps. That's too much. I say, why can't you do number 4? And it worked. So there's something in this process that I'm having a much closer relationship to ChatGPT. And I start to feel what they're thinking, or him to, and it's amazing thing is that ChatGPT has the memory of what we discussed, whatever, 3 months ago, 8 months ago, and can bring back like that. And that's such a resource. And it's only on the fingertip that you can access, so that we'll find a way of living with the limited resources. It's already proven, in my view. Our problem is ourselves, to take it easy, lazy, and not working through. That's why Zen koan is important. To give Zen monk a question, and they don't give you the answer. That's the way of koan. And the koan cannot be solved by the brain, by your mind. And that's the fantastic thing. It's the same as me sitting for 10 days, just breathing and concentration and inner body sensation. And you have pain. And the pain, in my case, out of the pain, I got liberated because of the Zen training, koan, and others. I came up with the idea, and when I thought about it, the binding I had of the pain came out, given the same situation, not because of the brain, not because of the tool, but because of the inner ability to express what I can. And that is the source of wisdom and compassion. I cannot think anything otherwise. And that's so profound, and you have this liberated sense and blissful sensation, and you can challenge more. So, just like me doing this YouTube, nobody may be watching, maybe 10 people, 3 people, I don't know. But there's something in here, as much as all the insects and ants and all the cockroaches living, there's something. And we are one of them. And we better use, instead of complaining, upset, thinking only about the money and big yacht, but living in the small hotel room with a bicycle sitting there on the constraint, but having fun. That's what I want to be practicing, living, solving problem beyond the constraint of mind. So, what was the story that I did on this video? Be humble, don't feel confined. There's a friend, there's even ChatGPT. If you can ask the question and be patient, yes, the patience, endurance for the purpose of us live better, not just individually, but as a group, and be able to share it. That's whole life's worth there, in my view. So I'm not going to quit living in this little room or any hardship. It may change, okay? My saying now, I may be depressed at a certain point, but I do want to have the spirit coming out from the bottom of my heart to go through it. Me, mini-me in the organization. I listened to Michelle Obama talking about her frustration of what's going on in this world and why Trump is so and so. Totally. I was so excited. I was so happy to listen to her. I have my universe. I'm not the citizen of the US. I can connect because her heart is speaking. I can feel it. So let's wish for the best, and may all beings be happy. If Trump is happy, not to be too much, but let him have a place that he can live. Maybe a little tiny hotel room or some such place. And the law that we think, they say something about what he is worth and what he needs to do. And for us, not alienating, but have compassion and have the wisdom coming out of it to go beyond the boundaries. That's what I want us to move on. And even with little voice, I want to share that. So, thank you. Thank you if you listen to this. Let's work on it. And good night.